This little guy over here will be done soon. They still have not got the final tune on it. It has been months. I swear, like, it's insane. I have tuned, I've done 2, 3 5.0s now. One of them being Dad's old black car, which was supercharged, lower pulley, or smaller pulley, you know, cold air, off-road, exhaust, everything. And we tuned it, we data logged it a couple times. One day we had that thing 100% dialed in. Dodge, on the other hand, not so fun. You have to actually replace the ECU or PCM, whichever the computer component is, and a lot more complicated than like a Ford is to data log and everything. Of course, I don't even know if these have, I guess they do because they have the air-fuel ratio, so they have to have the wideband in them. Maybe? I'm not really sure. Anyways, I didn't do the work on this car because I didn't really want to get into all that, swapping the computer out, and you have to actually take the supercharger off to swap the pulley on this, whereas like the Mustang, you takes like no time. You definitely don't have to take it off. So he got his buddy to do all that stuff for him, but it's been like months, and they've been going back and forth with the tuner. They've been dialing it all in and stuff, and they finally, I think, have got the final tune. They just have to upload it to the car, and then they'll be done with it. So after then, hopefully, we will be able to go out in the orange Hellcat and see what 750-ish wheel horsepower is like. Definitely will be the fastest car I've driven, and we'll see how it compares to the almost stock. Got a one-piece drive shaft, 309 gears, Mickey Thompson's. Other than that, not performance. Factory 707 horsepower versus what should be about 700 to 750 or more wheel horsepower. What's going on, guys? So I'm sure you can tell by the title and thumbnail and what you've already seen so far, I'm going to be talking about the story about the orange Hellcat that I never told. So I'm not going to drop any names or anything, anywhere, anybody, because I don't know if they want this told, and I'm sure they don't care, but just for those reasons, I'm not going to say any names or anything. But the orange Hellcat, I'm sure you've seen it in a couple videos if you've been subscribed for a good while, and you've probably seen the red one for sure, but the orange one was in a couple videos. So if you saw the previous part of this video, it's from like a year ago, or I don't even know, it probably is longer than a year, I'm not really sure. But the orange Hellcat was running, was getting data logged, was trying to get finalized, was trying to get ready to run. So it's not necessarily the tuner's fault, or I don't know whose fault it was. It might have just been a defective part, but they had been going back and forth. They had the owner, and then they had the guy that was doing the data logging, and then they had the company that they were sending the data log off to, and they really only had the car on the weekends. So it turned into like a multiple month-long process, which I'm sure them as well as the tuner was not, you know, in love with that, because, you know, they kind of want to just, you know, get it done, move on to someone else. Enough things in order to push it up to about 700 to 750 wheel, and so nothing too crazy. There's Hellcats out there making 900. I think there's some over 1,000 stock engine, so that should not be a problem. But they thought they had the tune dialed in. He was like, I don't really do low races. He's like, this is the guy that owns it. He's like, yeah, I like to go as fast as it can possibly go. So the tuner was like, all right, I'm gonna send you one final revision just to correct a couple things up top. And they did that. Well, his previous record on the streets of Mexico was 173 miles an hour on a certain road, and so that's why he did all these mods and stuff, because he wanted to break 200. And that's crazy, yes I know, but that's the case. So did all the mods, everything. Finally thought they had everything dialed in and done. Went out on the street, running 170 miles an hour, and the car shut off. So I don't know how he didn't wreck the car, you know, going 170 miles an hour and it turn off, lose all power and everything. And this is, you know, I'm going off what he told me or not, but I'm sure it's the truth. But I mean, that's just insane. I can't even imagine doing that. But once he got it to a stop, you know, crank it back up, it would run, but it was struggling real bad, sputtering, all kind of stuff. He got it back to the house. his house, it would just stall out. He'd crank it up. I mean, he was trying to turn it around. A couple weeks later, they ended up getting it on a trailer and whatnot, and it took them forever because they'd crank it up, you know, put it in drive, and it instantly stall and move a couple foot, whatever. So it was really struggling just to stay running. And so after a while he was thinking, hey, I can either try to get it warranted and then potentially say, hey, you did all these things to it, we're not going to do it, and be out like, I don't know, what's a Hellcat engine run, 20 grand, something insane like that. So he thought about it for a good long while and decided that, I mean, and that could, who knows how long that could take, because Dodge is going to want to dig into it, see what was going on with it. I mean, that could take months, years. I mean, you really don't know, because obviously they want to find out why a Hellcat engine, you know, failed. I'm just deciding to go down to the dealership, and he was going down there to talk to him about getting it warranted. And then they had another Hellcat sitting in the dealership, and he was like, well, you know, work me out a deal with that. So they ended up working out a deal, and he got another Hellcat and traded his in, as is. Sign the papers, you're done. I mean, it's legally, you're clear. They ended up taking it. He got his car. It's been over a year now, I think. And recently, I mean, it was a long time, they were apparently having issues with Dodge not wanting to give them a replacement engine and that kind of stuff. And supposedly, after a teardown, the last thing we heard from them was they said that it was a push rod that failed. So I don't know if it was something, just a factory freak issue or what, but the Hellcat blew up at 170 miles an hour. So pretty crazy. And like I said, I didn't want to talk about the story at first until I got all situated and whatnot, and I honestly kind of forgot about it. And then I stumbled on that footage from me in the garage talking about, you know, wanting to go drive it and stuff. So it sparked my brain to think that I wanted to make a video on that, and so here we are. So let me know what you think. It's pretty crazy, I can't even imagine it, but yeah, so y'all let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all in the next one.